Shalom, family. I'm back. So, at the end of the last video, we spoke about those Gentiles that believe that they are actually Israel in the sense that they're an Israelite. And why this is problematic doctrine for us as Gentiles is because that means you're coming in the spirit of Antiochus. And I'll explain why. So, when we look at this, and we look at the things that Antiochus did relating to the sanctuary. 21, and he entered proudly into the sanctuary and took away the golden altar and the menorah of light and all the vessels thereof. So as a Gentile, when you claim to be Israel and when you don't subscribe to the position that the Most High has put us in as Gentiles, you're one, rejecting his word, and you're bringing an entitlement. You're bringing an entitlement and a worldly mentality into this truth as we worship the Most High Yah and as we seek our salvation. And what do I mean by that? Well, what I mean is when we're looking at the temple, as a Gentile, Antiochus proudly strolled into the sanctuary and believed that he was allowed to do it. Again, it says he proudly entered the sanctuary. So as Gentiles, the first question you have to ask yourself is, are you being covered by an Israelite elder? And if you're not being covered by an Israelite elder, then your thought process, believing that I am Israel and I can go, you are fallen into the same trap that Antiochus did, whereas you feel like you can be in the temple unaccompanied and that you are equal to our Israelite brothers and sisters, when that is not the case. And the Most High has made that very clear within his word, within his Torah, and within the writings of the New Testament. So as Gentiles, you do not want to bring this entitlement into Israel. It's a worldly thought process, and it is a white supremacy belief that you can do what you want, you can go where you want, you can be what you want. All that has to happen is you telling or saying or proclaiming or believing that you are that. That's why it's a worldly thought process. That's why it's a process of, that's why it reeks of entitlement, and it reeks of the things of this world. And it does not allow Gentiles to be in their proper place. So as a Gentile, you can proclaim that the Messiah, Ha'Machiakh, he is that of a black man. You can prescribe to that. You can subscribe to the children of Israel being the black man and woman in this country, the Native American and Hispanic woman. You can subscribe to all that. But the moment that you say that you are an Israelite and that you are of the seed of Abraham and Isaac and Jacob, then you're bringing white supremacy and entitlement into the truth, because you're not. We're not the same. And let's look at a couple examples from the word. First, we're going to go to Leviticus, the 27th chapter. And we're going to look at some scriptures about tithing and see how that there is a distinction between Yehudim and Gentile. Bear with me, family, as I get there. So we're going to Leviticus 27. Leviticus 27 and verse 30. Leviticus 27 and verse 30. And all the tithe of the land, whether of the seed of the land or of the fruit of the tree, is Yahowah's. It is holy unto Yahuwah. And the reason I bring this scripture out to edify is because when you see the seed of the land, that is the Yehudim, that is Ephraim, that is the lost tribes of Israel and the Yehudim. Fruit of the tree, now that's speaking about Gentiles. We are the fruit of the tree. Because if you go to Romans 11, you'll see that Yisrael is the root The seed of the land. What comes out of a seed? A root. Fruit of the tree talks about how Gentiles are not the root, but bear the root thee. So we are on the root. The fruit of the tree hangs from the branches on the tree. And the seed of the land is the tree. And that is Yisrael. That is Yehudah. Okay? We are the fruit of the tree. So even here in the Torah, in Leviticus, in this tithing scripture, it creates a difference between Yehudim and Gentile, or Yehudim and Greek. Okay? Now let's look at another scripture. We're going to actually go to Romans for this one. Romans 1. I mean, this may seem remedial, family, but we have to do it. Romans 1. Like I said, it may seem remedial, but let's talk about it. Romans 1 and verse 16. For I am not ashamed of the gospel of let me start again, family. Romans 1 and 16. For I am not ashamed of the gospel of Mashiach, for it is the power of Elohim unto salvation to everyone that believeth, to the Yehudim first, and also the Greek. So there's another reference, and now this is in the New Testament, of course, that's showing the difference between that the Yehudim have received salvation, and salvation means Yehoshua. Yehoshua translated in Hebrew means salvation. So Yehoshua, substitute Yehoshua when you see salvation. So let's do it. For I am not ashamed of the gospel of Mashiach, for it is the power of Elohim unto Yehoshua, to everyone that believeth, to the Yehudim first, and also to the Greek. Okay? And now, let's close it out with one more scripture for this point. We're going to go to Romans 3, 1 and 2. It says, what advantage then hath the Yehudim, or what profit is there of the circumcision? So Paul is answering a question about what profit there is to being a Yehudim, to being one that is circumcised. And it says in verse 2, much every way chiefly, because that unto them were committed the oracles of Elohim. So it's showing you here in Romans that the Yehudim have received the oracles of Elohim. They received the oracles directly from the Most High. It doesn't say the Yehudim and the Gentiles. No, it says the Yehudim. So as Gentiles, what are we to do? What are we to do in this season of Feast of Dedications, when it comes to the temple and when it comes to building Yah's house? Back to the temple. What can we actually do? What can we actually do to solve this problem of the defiled temple, and what is our role? The first thing you have to realize as a Gentile is the first and most important thing to remember as a Gentile is that you personally cannot solve the entire problem. It's the same problem we deal with when we deal with racism in this world. As a Gentile, I cannot personally solve the problem of racism. But what I can do is I can be understanding, and I can do my part as a Gentile to uplift those Yehudim whom are doing the works of the Most High, who are building Yah's temple by giving our tithes, as it said in Leviticus 27 and verse 30. The first thing we can do is give our tithes to those Yehudim who are doing righteously and building the Most High Yah's house. Now, for this ministry, we are under the coverage of Elder Jedi Malik. But I'm here to tell you he is not the only brother out here building up the house of Yisrael and who is restoring Yah's word and his culture. There's a brother named Brother L with Victory Manifest. He's doing considerable works for the Most High, traveling, immersing people. He has done several audiobooks. He is continuing to try to create a set-apart lifestyle for the Israelites here in America by buying land eventually. These are brothers that we can pour into that are helping rebuild Yah's temple. Okay, Elder Jediah is doing it through his works, restoring the word. And this was the most recent addition to the library, which is the Lost Acts of the Holy Apostles. And Elder Jediah, Brother El, the late Prophet Roe Nabi, are all instrumentals in continuing to spread this word and rebuild Yah's temple in righteousness. As Gentiles, we have helped to destroy it. We have helped to defile it. It is our job, and it is imperative for us to help rebuild it and restore it. And that begins by not bringing white supremacy and entitlement into the truth, but accepting our role as Gentiles. And this is the late Brother Roy Nabi. He asked Brother Jediah if he would explain and bring out a history lesson regarding the spreading of the gospel here in America, and those individuals, those men that were pivotal in helping open the eyes of the people here in America to their true identity. This particular section goes into the awakening, and I just wanted to give credence to some of the elders that have come before us, such as Bishop William Saunders Crowdy, who was an enslaved man here in America in the late 1800s, who received revelations about whom the children of Israel were and began to wake his people. A student of his is Rabbi Arnold Josias Ford, another gentleman who was pivotal in the spreading of the word here in America. Next we have Rabbi Whitworth Arthur Matthews, the chief rabbi of the Commandment Keepers. It was a congregation in New York. And then, of course, you have the Ethiopian Hebrews from Ethiopia. So, Gentiles, it's very important that we understand our role and our position and our place in this season, and that we are not to usurp the authority of the Yehudim. We are not Yisrael, we are Gentiles. We are not Israelites. And it's important as a Gentile that you are comfortable enough accepting that reality and that truth, and that you don't bring entitled attitudes of this world and white supremacist thought processes into this truth, cloaking it in the guise that you believe that black people in America are the children of Israel and that our Messiah is in fact a black man. Because you cloak your truth in that doesn't mean you're actually leaving the world, being set apart, and seeking Yah's way truly. So family, I just want to thank you for your time over these series of videos, and I hope they were edifying for you. I hope everybody had a peaceful and a wonderful Shabbat, not only today, but also Thursday, which was the end of the Feast of Dedication. So I pray all is well with the family. I pray that the Most High Yah blesses everybody and keeps everybody in this coming week. And let's close out with defile YAHOWAH, which is the Lord's Prayer, which we found in Matthew, the 6th chapter, verses 9 through 13. And we're going to read it out of the Lost Acts of the Holy Apostles tonight. Boom, here we go. Defile YAHOWAH. Avinu, Sheba Shemayim, Yikwoda Shemeka, Tabo Malkuteka, Yeyase Rasonka, Keashir, Keba Shemayim, Gamba Aretz, Te Lanu, Ed Lekem, Zarkenu Hayom, Humakau Lanu, Ed Kovotenu, Kamoshe Gam, Anaknu, Makaunu, Lehayavenu wa Altavienu, Lede Nisayon Elehat Selenu Mehara, Kishalka, He, Hamalkut, Wahagavora, Wahatafera, Leome, Olamin, Bashem Yehoshua. So family, as always, I thank you for joining me, and I hope this lesson was edifying. I give all honor, all glory, and praise to the Most High Yah in the name of His only begotten Son, Yehoshua, because this is not of me. These revelations are of Him, and I'm simply His vessel seeking to deliver His message in the most wise way possible. So until next time, family, I bid you Shabbat Shalom.